Hey guys, it's Wanda from Crazy Days. Today we're going to give you an update on the green stalks. Now this is my original green stalk that I got, and it's the one with the deep pockets, and we're fixing to redo some of it because a lot of the plants have come out. They were winter crops. Some of them are still doing great, and then we're going to show you the second green stalk and the strawberries in it, what I've got to do to them because they're not performing at their best. They're still good, but they're not at the best. And then we're going to show you the potatoes in the third green stalk. So we've been partnered with Ashley at Green Stalk Vertical Planters for about 3 years now. They've sent all these vertical planters to us to try, and we're going to show you what we've learned to do and not do. Now this is the original that I got, the first one they sent, and it is on a roller base, so I can move this one like forward and backwards wherever I want it. And we have little frogs, and we'll explain the frogs in a few minutes. This one was sitting at the front of my mini greenhouse. Now I've got the sides open because we're going to get up pretty warm for about 2 to 3 days, and then we're dropping back down in the 40s. So I'm not taking the cover off yet. But this is where I keep 2 of the green stalks during the winter. Now this one has had lettuce. I just took the red lettuce out because it was starting to go to seed. I'm still getting some off of this, so I had a salad, well actually a chicken sandwich yesterday. The chard, you can see I break some off of. Isn't that gorgeous? It does great. I've got strawberries up top that are looking really good and healthy in this one, but still I need a little more dirt. We're going to get to that in a little bit. But you see, pretty much I've got another lettuce that I've been munching on back there. Most of it is out of something, so we're going to plant beans and all this, but I'm going to bring the soil up because you see how deep it's gotten. It got packed. The more you water, the packier it gets, so we're going to fluff it a little, add more. A couple of strawberries in the bottom. My blue roses, most of them have not made it. They've looked weird, but this one is hanging in there, so we're hoping it rooted. We'll see. I've got this second green stalk, and this is an original green stalk laid out so you can see the pieces and all. I got just the turntable base with it. It's like a lazy Susan. All these little cups need washing. After a while you do need to take it apart and clean everything. But the problem I found when I took this off was the original top, I think was this one. You see right here what I found? Look at this. I've got frogs. They had a nest built right here. I took the nest out, but they're going through this little hole down into the others. They had their beds made, and they're living in the centers of my beds. Now they do catch insects. The problem I found with that was the water flow, if they're in the way. But you see how far down my strawberry plants are, and I filled this up to the top. Each one of these were full all the way to the top when I planted my strawberries. So now I've got to redo, and that's not fun with strawberries because they don't like to be moved right now. And look at this. This is one of the prettiest plants I've ever seen. It's called a shrimp plant. How it got in here, I'm not 100% sure. We have them in the herb bed, either a seed or Wanda took a clipping and stuck it in there and forgot it. One of the two. So we've got to find a home for that. It can't stay there. But we're going to bring up the dirt because strawberries need to come over the side and hang out so you can get them. Let me show you the... Alright, so this is one of the problems. You see this? They're over in there, and when that second one sits on top of it, I can't see the strawberries. So they're down in here. I need it where they're coming out the sides like this with a lot of dirt instead of over in the beds. So strawberries is something that you have to learn to play with. Another thing people are saying, how do you keep them wet? There's our little guy again. I think there's 2 of them. I know I saw one, but I think there's 2. How do you feed from the top and it water all of them? Now, we're going to talk about that. All right, the top tray has these places where you water, and I've got five of these tiers. So the top tray tells us I need to go up to that line, and the water will flow through here, and it flows through each one of these holes, which when it goes through here and into this one has holes, and I can't pick it up because it's heavy, but it has holes in the bottom of this that drip down into each one of these. Each pocket it's supposed to, doing what it's supposed to do. This puts water into these, then the next one in the bottom has holes that puts them into these. The main water goes into this from the center, and it has holes which drops into here, which will feed this one in here, and so forth and so on all the way around. That's how it's supposed to feed. Now if your pockets seem to be a little dry, I take the hose and put some water in each individual one as needed. So that's not a big deal. But once you get them kind of wet, top feeding should work from then on, unless it's a heavy drought and then you need to do something different. Okay, what I've done is I've laid all my strawberries out to the side, and hoping that by laying them sideways and filling the dirt up this way, that's going to help alleviate them going into the pot. Now, this is my next, let me find where it goes. It goes on there. That's my watering tray. That way, when the next pot comes on, the piece like this will be sitting over this because they're catty-cornered, and it will be sitting here so water can go into this plus into this all at one time. I've got 4 more to go. One thing I did find when washing out my trays here is spiders want to get in them also, so that's another reason for kind of keeping them clean. GreenStalk does have now the covers for insects and for frost control. We use the Schultz Potting Soil Plus that we get at a local hardware store, Alexander's, here in our town. And it comes in a huge bag. It's like 2 cubic feet. It feeds for 9 months, so it does have the extra nutrients and fertilizer in it. And this is what I put in my green stalks. We also use Miracle Grow potting soil. We bounce back and forth between the two because our local hardware store carries these in a huge bag. In a green stalk, you do not want to put your dirt from your soil, I guess, outside in there because it does pack, and you don't want it packy. You want it kind of loose, and this type of potting soil works so much better than packy dirt. Last year, Mark and Rebecca from Cedar Creek Bottoms came and visited, and they live in our state, so they sent me some black and white calypso beans and some red and white calypso beans. What I'm going to be doing is adding them to the green stalk. Now in the places, I'm going to go ahead and build the soil up. I'm not taking this one apart. I'm going to just shove some dirt in there and put my beans in it. But this one's been added a couple of times, so I can do that with it. And in the empty spots, we're going to grow the black and white and the red and white calypso beans. Thank you, Mark and Rebecca. Alright, so I'm kind of sprinkling these from the outside, not heavy, because we're going to feed them from the top, but I'm going to go all the way around and water these somewhat because I just moved them. And I want them to have some water in them. And then the dirt was already wet down deep. So we're going to do that all the way around and then water from the top. The beauty of the spin base, now I got this side where the spin base, I can add some water on this side now. Now we're going to just fill the top. And and let it drip down. And you can see, I left space so you can see it dripping into each individual cup. Once the plant reaches a certain stage, it'll reach and grab that moisture from the center. So young plants just put in, you might want to sprinkle water on them so they get under the water base with their roots. Alright, I have all the strawberries hanging over the side. We're going to see how well that works and see if they perk up and do. It's all water. The top tier, I'm going to come back in because I wanted to be able to show you the water dripping. I'm going to come back in and add more dirt into it and plant some flowers or something in the top. But I have all the other pockets with strawberries. And this is my fingerling potatoes. Every pocket but one has a potato in it. One has a potato, it just didn't grow for whatever reason. It's got little bitties there, but everybody else is way out doing it. And this one is on a roller base, so I can roll it because we have some weather coming in. I push it out here, let the sun get to it, and you can see I roll it every day. I roll it around. And I came out this morning and I put some liquid fertilizer in the top and then watered it. And these I water about once a week. Don't water them very often because potatoes don't need to get turned to mush. So the potato is the leaf green stalk. It is a smaller pocket, and I think there's 7 of these instead of 5. And we're going to see how the fingerling potatoes do in the leaf green stalk. This one I've added the calypso beans. The red ones are in the bottom 2 tiers. The top 2 or middle 2 has the black ones. And then we got strawberries around the top. I added more dirt and I left my chard and some lettuce and some spinach, some Malabar spinach and thyme. I forgot I got a little bit of thyme in there too. Always got to have thyme in this one. So this one is done. We're going to leave it here so I can protect it through the temperatures next week. If it gets down into the 40s, I can keep this covered and not affect it. We're going to see if the calypso beans grow here. Now with the strawberries, I told you I was going to put flowers, but I have 5 calypso beans. And I'm going to go ahead and put them in there. And I'll probably come back and add a little bit of dirt in the center in a little while. But it's not going to hurt these getting planted on the edge. So thank you, Mark and Rebecca. And they live in Alabama. I think I said they were in Mississippi, but they're in Alabama. So we're going to see, can we grow beans, strawberries, potatoes, and all kinds of other stuff in my green stalks. So guys, I'm hot, I'm dirty, I'm tired. The humidity is crazy because we got another heat wave and another rainstorm coming in. So I've got all my green stalks done. We're ready for the summer. We're going to see how this goes. And guys, check out my link in the description below for GreenStalk planters. They do have the covers that go over these for frost protection. They have some for insect control. I do have the insect control, but sometimes you need the bees to get to the plants to pollinate. So you have to be careful which ones you put on when and watch for pollinators. So thank you from Crazy Days.